Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorites from March and April. And today I'm really excited to start off with some perfume. And for those of you who might remember, a long time ago I had a blog called Scent Hive where I focused on reviewing natural perfumes. So I would love it if any of you remember those days. If you would drop a comment down below, I would just love to say hi to those of you who have been around since the Scent Hive days. Actually, I would love to say hi to any of you, but specifically for those of you who remember the Scent Hive days, I would love to say hello. But anyway, I am going to start off with talking about these perfumes from Linen Tutu. I have just fallen in love with all of them. Of course, I have a couple of favorites from this line, but these perfumes have definitely been favorites from these last couple of months. I have really enjoyed the discovery scent that Daniela Carrasco, who is the creator of Linen Tutu, that she sent me. So let's go ahead and start talking about this line. So Linen Tutu is a plant-based perfume line created by Daniela. She is Peruvian American. She lives in the Hudson Valley in New York. She is a trained aromatherapist. I think she was an aromatherapist first, and then she went to design school. She has an advanced degree from Parsons Design School in New York. While she was in design school and she was working on her thesis, she also was working on her perfume line concurrently. So anyway, she has this degree in design, and just the design and the aesthetic throughout the whole creation of this line, you can just tell that there is a very clear design aesthetic running through it. So let's go ahead and just start talking about it. What she sent me initially here was the Discovery set. And this is, of course, I've taken it apart, but this is what it looks like. So you get this beautiful card right here with a description of each of the scents. And then you get there's four perfumes in the line. So you get a sample of each one, and it comes in this cute little satchel. And then you also get another little card that gives a quick description of each of the scents. You get a little card that has a QR code on it, which takes you to a video description of each of the scents, which is absolutely beautiful. The video that is done for each of the perfumes is just really stunning and beautiful. So if after I've talked to you about these perfumes, if it piques your interest at all, I highly recommend checking out the website because it's just really stunning. So let's go ahead and talk about the perfumes. Like I said, it is all plant-based, so, essential oils, natural essences. She does use isolates, natural isolates, which are single molecule essential oil fractions that are derived from plants. So a lot of natural perfumers do work with natural isolates, like Mandy Aftel, who is one of the most well-known natural perfumers. She works with natural isolates. There are some natural perfumers who do not work with natural isolates. So there's just going to be a variation there, depending upon how you feel about natural isolates, if they are quote unquote natural or not. So do what you will with that information. I have no problem with natural perfumers working with isolates, or for myself, putting natural isolates on my body. And then also just to clarify, she does not use any animal ingredients in her perfumes. And let's go ahead and start talking about the perfumes, which, like I said, I love every single one of them, but I do have two favorites, and those are going to be the last two that I talk about. And I also want to mention that Daniela created each one of these perfumes to capture a moment in time, and each one was inspired by a personal story. So Up at One is the first one I'm going to talk about, and this was created to be reminiscent of a late morning on a sunny day. And the main notes are orange blossom, clementine, coriander, and orris butter. And as I was wearing each one, I took notes. So I haven't looked at my notes since I actually wore them. So what I wrote down from Up at One was that I really got a sense of strong orange blossom. It was very bright and also a little bit creamy. That's what I got from the top notes. Within the heart, I started to get more of an experience, and this is kind of interesting. I got more of an experience that was similar to Coco Chanel. Now, of course, this perfume, Up at One, is not as bombastic and strong as Coco Chanel, but I used to wear Coco Chanel, and I'm not talking about Coco Mademoiselle. I'm talking about the real deal Coco Chanel. I used to wear that in college, and I just immediately when I started wearing Up at One by Linen Tutu, I definitely got Coco Chanel vibes, and it just had more of that traditional perfume kind of a scent. So I looked up the notes for Coco Chanel, and Coco Chanel has coriander, orange blossom, mandarin orange. There's no orris butter in it like Up at One does have, but they do share similar notes, which is kind of interesting. And what I do really appreciate regarding Linen Tutu is that Daniela lists all of her ingredients. So if you go to the website and you click on the ingredients button, she actually lists all of the ingredients. So you can see all of the notes that she uses. And the number one ingredient in this perfume is actually aldehydes. So I think that's why I get that more perfumey vibe from this particular perfume. I think that's why it kind of gives me a little bit of that Coco Chanel feeling, including the similar notes of orange blossom, clementine, and coriander. So I'm not saying you're going to wear this perfume and feel like you're wearing Coco Chanel, but it was a little bit reminiscent of that to me. I really, really like it. I think that it has incredible staying power actually for a perfume that is highly based around natural ingredients. But for me, it was a little bit too perfumey in terms of being something that I would wear on the daily. I think this would be a nighttime perfume for me, even though it's described to be that memory of a late morning on a sunny day, which to me seems like summery and a daytime perfume. For me, I think because of those aldehydes, it speaks to me as more of a nighttime type of fragrance. But it is really beautiful, very well constructed. And for those of you who are kind of like longing for something a little bit more intense, maybe a little bit more dramatic, and you really like orange blossom, this would definitely be a perfume that you might want to check out. The next one I'm going to talk about is Hearsay at 3. This is described as a sudden burst of your wildest side. And the notes I have written down here are the opening is very tart and fruity without being adolescent at all. And I think that comes from the bergamot. And then the ambrette, which is that hibiscus musk, is very, very light. Sometimes ambrette can be really overwhelming to me. It can be really suffocating, and I did not get that feeling at all from this particular perfume using the ambrette. The amyris, I've never smelled amyris oil on its own, not that I know of, but it's described to be very similar to sandalwood, but it's a little bit softer with some hints of vanilla, which I definitely got from this perfume. The ambergris note in here, which is an accord, is very ambery and earthy. So in the end, this to me on the dry down was very much of a skin scent. I got more ambrette in the dry down, which kind of resembled a little bit of a white musk, but not synthetic at all, just very clean and very sheer. So this is a perfume for those of you who do like those skin scents that are very musky, but like I said, not overpowering. If ambrette in the past has been, too much for you, this would be a perfume that you would want to check out. For me, in the end, while I really enjoyed it and I like it, these types of perfumes really aren't my jam. I don't really love those kind of like skin scent, musky types of perfumes, but I do think it was very, very well done and very pleasant and not offensive at all in any way. And I do think this would be a really great perfume if you needed a scent that's just going to wear very close to you and not overpower any type of social situation. So now we're going to move into the two that were my absolute favorites from this line. Lately at number 5 is Supposed to Recall a Midsummer Bohemian Wedding, and I do believe this was the perfume that Daniela created for her own wedding. The main notes in here are jasmine sambac, wild foliage, saffron, and hinoki wood. So for those of you who've been watching my channel for any length of time, you all know that I absolutely adore jasmine sambac, so it's no big surprise that this is going to be one of my favorites from Linen Tutu. So when I sprayed this on my body for the first time, the jasmine sambac is definitely the main note for me that I experienced. So it's a very jasmine sambac forward perfume, almost to the point of being a soliflor, but in the heart is when the hinoki starts to shine. So I started to get more of the floral, woody perfume experience in the heart. That's definitely when that started to emerge. In the dry down is when I started to get this incredible, like sambac infused, sun-baked hinoki type of experience that became really reminiscent of kind of like a beachy type of perfume. So I got this real summertime feeling, almost veering into that suntan lotion type of experience. I know there's no Masoya bark in here, but if you're familiar with Masoya bark, it kind of has a little bit of a lactone, coconut kind of scent. And I kind of got a little bit of that in the dry down. It was really, really pretty and I really enjoyed it. So I got that like soft, woody, creamy kind of dry down experience. And like I mentioned, Daniela lists all of the ingredients that she includes in her formulas, which I think is actually pretty amazing, the transparency that she has with her perfumes. So in her formula, she has ambroxide, which is an isolate from clary sage, which gives a woody, ambery, musky type of note. There's amyris in here. There's bitter orange peel, bergamot, lemon. There's the hinoki. There's a cis-3 hexanol natural, which is an isolate from mint, which gives a green, grassy herbaceousness. There is cis-3 hexanol acetate, which is a isolate from peppermint essential oil, which gives a scent of green bananas and green foliage to the top note. There's saffron in here. There's the jasmine sambac. There's an isolate from hoe wood, which kind of gives a floral woody note. There's an isolate from petite grains, which gives a fresh floral spicy note. There's also an isolate from cane sugar, which kind of gives an animalic honey floral note. So I'm not sure where I'm getting that like sort of coconutty, creamy, sun-baked, like beachy suntan feeling from. But maybe it's this phenyl acetic acid, which comes from either cane sugar or bitter orange trees. Maybe that's kind of giving that like animalic honey type of vibe. I'm not too sure, but I really tried to figure out where that was coming from. Maybe it's just the beauty of all of those ingredients working together. The best way I could describe it was sambac infused sun-baked hinoki, and I just really, really loved it. And then finally, I absolutely fell in love with Afterthought at 7. And the inspiration behind this one is a watercolor painting of the Hudson River. The main notes in here are freshwater, violet leaf, sea fennel, and driftwood. And let me grab my notes for this. And this is what I actually have on my skin today, and I really, really love this one so much. So I wrote down that this starts off very aquatic, mildly with this sweet fennel scent, and then it moves into more of a candied violet type of scent, not too powdery, just begins to bloom then more into an herbaceous and kind of vegetal violet dry down with a little bit of a salty note. Again, I went into the notes, all the specific notes to find out where this saltiness was coming through. I won't read them all to you because you can go and do that. But yeah, I looked up all of the isolates to see where a little bit of that saltiness would be coming from, and I just can't find it. Maybe it's the sea fennel oil has a little bit of a saltiness to it. There's an isolate in here from Listea cubeba, which has an ozonic marine type of aroma. There's a mimosa oleescence, which is supposed to be sweet and kind of honeyish, but I don't know, I just can't find anything that's salty, but I definitely get a saltiness from here. It is undeniable, especially in the dry down, which harkens back to the aquatic opening, which I think is really lovely, kind of like ties back into the first experience that you get, which is very marine-ish. To me, it has a very complex evolution. First you start with that aquatic opening, and then it becomes sweet and then vegetal in terms of the violet notes, and then you get this like salty mineral dry down, which to me reminds me of Tiemp Passat. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Antonia's Flowers, but it was very popular. I think it was just Antonia's Flowers was a freesia scent, really incredible. And then they came out with Tiemp Passat, which has this incredible salty note. So this reminds me so much of Tiemp Passat, just kind of a mellower, more wearable Tiemp Passat. So I just absolutely love Afterthought at 7. I think it's incredible. And I do believe that it is currently sold out, but I think Daniela was saying that a fresh batch is coming out. So what I would recommend doing is getting the Discovery scent, seeing which one you love the most. And then if it is Afterthought at 7, there should be a full bottle ready at that time when you want to get it. So these have been huge favorites of mine over the last couple of months. Another perfume that I have absolutely fallen in love with is Byredo's De Los Santos. If you saw my favorites from January and February, I spoke about Palo Santo and really just falling for Palo Santo and almost just like craving Palo Santo. And so I got the Palo Santo by Olo, a fragrance house here in Portland, and I kind of wanted to expand my Palo Santo horizons. So I did some research, and the De Los Santos by Byredo was highly recommended. And all I have are these little samples that I got at Nordstrom, but oh my gosh, I am just so in love with this perfume. I fell in love with it so much that I have asked for a full bottle of it for Mother's Day. The listed notes on Fragrantica are sage and mirabelle, and apparently mirabelle is a fantasy fruit note that's supposed to be kind of plummy and fresh and fleshy. There's orris and cistus, frankincense, and musk. They don't have Palo Santo listed in the notes on Fragrantica, but definitely Palo Santo is in here, as well as probably sandalwood, maybe some cedar in here, but it is just so gorgeous. For me, it feels very contemplative. It also has a little bit of like a tannic kind of tea note, but in the end, when it has dried down, it just smells like a beautiful, almost kind of creamy, although there's tea in there, it has a little bit of a creaminess of the Palo Santo, but it's a little paradoxical because even though to me, it has a creaminess, it's also dry with the Palo Santo as well as the sandalwood. I don't know, it's a little challenging to describe, but in the end, to me, it just feels very contemplative. And unlike the Palo Santo from Olo, which definitely has that like edge to it regarding the Palo Santo, which can be a little bit sharp, which I also really enjoy. This one is a little bit softer, even though it is on the dry side. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for any of you who have actually smelled De Los Santos by Byredo. Absolutely stunning. So I've spent a good deal of time on the perfume, so I'm gonna try to motor through the next ones. Kind of sticking with the scent theme though, is I have to talk about the Santal and Vetiver Body Wash by Salt & Stone. This is so good. I have not had it for very long. I got it during the most recent Sephora sale, and I am in love with it. And this has an incredible scent of sandalwood, but I really love the vetiver in here is so well done. This too actually has a little bit of a salty note to it. I don't know what the deal is with me and salt right now, but I cannot deny the salt in here as well. So I don't know if the vetiver in here is imparting a little bit of a saltiness to it, but I feel like this is so well done. Now, a lot of people have compared this to Santal 33. I still have a few more of my little Santal, Le Labo Santal 33 shower gels that I got from the hotel in Japan. So I can actually make a direct comparison between the two. I actually think that the Salt & Stone is better. The Santal 33, at least in the shower gel, is, I mean, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I have recommended it in the past. But I would say this is a little bit more of a linear sandalwood experience in the shower. Now, I do have a small spray bottle of the Santal 33 in the perfume. I haven't worn it for a long time, so I can't really speak to the perfume in terms of comparing the perfume to the body spray that Salt & Stone makes in their Santal and Vetiver, so I can't compare those two. But at least in the shower gel, this is a pretty straightforward linear sandalwood experience while you're putting it on your body. It's lovely, I really enjoy it, but I do think that this one is just a little bit more complex with the vetiver, a little more interesting, and also a lot less expensive than the Le Labo. So highly recommend this. I've absolutely been enjoying this over the last few weeks, and I just can't rave highly enough about this particular body wash. I definitely will be getting it again in the future. Moving on to another body product that I've really been enjoying is this dry body oil by Nerra. This is a new brand to me. I don't know a whole lot about it, except for I do believe that this is a French brand, or at least the products are made in France. I think there's macadamia seed oil in here, as well as maybe hemp seed oil. But anyway, I love the delivery system in here. So it's got a spray bottle, And when you mist it on your body, it's got such a fine mist. I mean, it's actually incredible. The mist is so fine that it just spreads over your legs really, really nicely. But then when I put it on my arms, I actually spray it directly into my hand and then apply it onto my arm. So you can do it either way. And the bottle itself is actually really easy to hold. So what I do is I spray it onto my legs first and then rub it onto my legs. And then actually when I grab the bottle again to spray it into my hand, even though I have the oil on my hand, the bottle doesn't slip out of my hand. I don't know if they intentionally did that with the shape of this bottle, but ergonomically, it's really great. And then in terms of the texture, it truly is a dry oil that soaks into your skin very well. I typically do use it at night, but I don't like the feeling of having a lot of oil on my skin when I get into the sheets. So I've really been enjoying it at the nighttime. If I want to use it during the day, I mix it with another lotion or a body cream, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So this has been a really big hit for me. And what's interesting is a little goes a long way. So I've had this for a while now and I actually use it quite a bit, but I think the delivery system is so efficient because the spray is so fine and it delivers it over your body in very, like I said, in an efficient way. So it's not wasteful at all. So anyway, big hit for the Nerra Dry Body Oil. And then I also want to mention their body wash. Now, this is like an honorable mention for these last couple months. I don't know as if I would purchase this. So this was sent to me in PR. I would definitely purchase this with my own money because I really do like it a lot. And this might be sort of like one of those, let's throw this into my cart because I'm already placing an order. I don't think I would go to the website just to purchase this, but I actually really like it for the specific reason. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is unscented. So there's no scent to this, which I actually like because then it doesn't mix with whatever perfume I want to wear, or if I want to mix it with another lotion that is scented. So I actually like that this is unscented. So this is unscented too, very, very mild. So when you are washing your nether regions, it is not going to irritate you. So if you just want to be blunt about it, when you are washing your genitalia, if you tend to be sensitive, if your yoni is sensitive to things that are harsh, they are scented, have essential oils in it, like the Dr. Bronner's peppermint. If you don't want to use that down there, this is amazing. I have really been enjoying this. If I just don't want to be using anything that, like I said, is scented or has essential oil in it, this is what I've been using. It doesn't lather up a whole lot, but you don't really need that, especially when you are washing down there. So this is not marketed as such, but I think this is a great wash for that particular reason. So that's why I like this. And I don't really think you need a special wash for that particular area, but if you want something that is very gentle and unscented, I think this makes a great wash for that particular reason. So next, I am super, super excited to talk about the April Boxwalla Beauty Box. This is featuring 12 Beauty and the theme is Spring in Spain. For those of you who are not familiar with 12 Beauty, the founder is Pedro Catala. He is a botanist as well as a cosmetic chemist. He has a PhD in natural formulation technologies. And the box features the rewarding body balm as well as the ideal rebalancing level serum. So this has a value of $186, but if you get the single box, it's going to be $59.85. Or if you subscribe to 3 boxes, or if you subscribe to 6 boxes, it's only gonna be $49.95. So that's a pretty incredible value. I just was speaking to Lavanya today, and she is going to keep the subscriptions open until April 30th. So not a lot of time, but if after watching this video, you do wanna get this box, you've got a couple days to jump on it. So like I said, subscriptions will be open until April 30th. This body balm, I have really been enjoying. It's definitely been a favorite since I got it. I haven't had it that long, but I can already tell that I am just going to love it so much. It has an incredible texture, super thick and creamy, but absorbs into the skin really well. And it's not too thick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like creams that are super, super thick and are kind of hard to rub onto the skin, or you just have to rub and rub and rub and rub and rub until it actually soaks into the skin. Like for instance, the Le Prunier body balm or body cream or whatever they're calling it, I actually got that during, I think maybe the last Credo sale, or I can't remember when I got it, and I actually don't like that. I need to talk about that in a future video, or just maybe mentioning it here is sufficient. I really do not like that body cream, and I kind of feel like the 12 and the Le Prunier are sort of comps of each other in terms of pricing and just what the packaging looks like, and just kind of a similar idea, but I much prefer this 12 Beauty. I think the texture is absolutely gorgeous. The little dollop that I put on my left hand is already soaked in. I'm gonna put a little bit here on my right hand, and it just feels incredible. It is unscented, or there's hardly any scent to it at all. So for those of you who prefer unscented body products, this one would definitely be for you. As I mentioned, in terms of the Nerra, this is what I have been blending, these two together for just an incredible kind of like oil, cream, serum, kind of luxe mixture together. It's just been absolutely incredible. Now, what's really special about the 12 body balm that they're doing here with the Boxwalla is this one includes acerola extract, which is very high in vitamin C. It's antioxidant rich. It's really good for firming the skin. It's going to help increase collagen. So that is an exclusive to this particular blend that's exclusive to the Boxwalla Beauty Box. There's also unrefined olive squalane, kapawaku butter, as well as lovely botanical organic extracts. So this is just super lovely. And then also in this box is the 12 Beauty Ideal Rebalancing Level Serum. This is a water-based serum that's going to help regulate sebum and boost hydration. And I'll just show you real quick so you can see the texture there, that it is on the runny liquidy side. This has a powerful mix of antioxidants and plant-based nutrients. And what I've been enjoying doing is mixing this with the Essential Biotechnological Moisturizer. I spoke about this in my favorites video from January and February, that I've really been enjoying mixing this 12 Beauty product with some oils. Well, what I've been enjoying doing is mixing these two together. So the Rebalancing Level Serum that's in the Boxwalla Beauty Box, I've been enjoying adding a couple of drops into the Essential Biotechnological Moisturizer. So this has been a new favorite combination that I've been doing. So anyway, lovely Boxwalla Beauty Box, definitely a recent favorite of mine that I just had to include in this video. What I also want to mention, sort of along the 12 beauty lines, is, as I mentioned before in my previous video of favorites, I had talked about adding oils into the Essential Biotechnological Moisturizer, but what I've been enjoying doing is adding more of a water-based serum like the 12 Beauty Ideal Rebalancing Level Serum from Boxwalla. But what I've been doing over the last couple months is adding the Live Botanical Solar Return Revitalizing Essence. This has been a favorite of mine over these last couple of months. I've just rediscovered my love for this. It's just such an incredible and beautiful product. This has mothbean in it, as well as plant-derived peptides, niacinamide, snow mushroom. And snow mushroom is a great ingredient if you're looking for something other than hyaluronic acid as a humectant in your skincare. So like I said, this is water-based. It has a hydrodistillation of fresh calendula, chamomile, and lemon balm. And I was just on the Live Botanical website this morning. I didn't realize that their website has been completely revamped. So it's updated, really beautiful, and just in general, but in particular on this product, if you are interested, you've got to go check out the website, because Carolyn, who is the founder of Live Botanical, she just has beautiful descriptions of her products as well as her ingredients. So just very in-depth descriptions of the products. So highly recommend checking out the website. And if you are interested in anything by Live Botanical, I always have a 20% off code, and it's just Trish, easy to remember. I do have actually a couple more skincare products to talk about. So just real quickly, I've really been loving the Alpen Beauty Instant Bright Eye. This is what I use under my concealer today. So this has peptides in it, niacinamide, bakuchiol, caffeine. It has a peachy pink hue that's gonna help blur your dark circles. So still highly recommending this. I think I put this on my Sephora sale recommendations. So big favorite of mine over these last couple of months. And I do actually have a code with Alpen Beauty as well, which is down below in my description box. I think it's Trish15 for 15% off. And then I was so excited when Josh Rosebrook sent me his Vital Balm Cream unscented, because I do think the Vital Balm Cream has blue tansy in in it. And then when they came out with the unscented, I've always been really curious about this. And this is really, really beautiful. It's such a lovely balm slash cream. So it feels like a balm, but it's not greasy like a cream. So it's just one of those beautiful hybrids. It's got aloe in it, borage seed oil, mango seed butter, evening primrose oil. It's got calendula in it. And then interestingly, it has Indian senna seed extract, which is supposed to be like nature's hyaluronic acid. So this definitely is very, very thick and creamy, definitely has a balm-like texture, but as I was saying, it's not super greasy at all, and it just has this really gorgeous texture. It's definitely that product you're gonna use as your last step in your skincare at nighttime. At least that's how I've been using it. And I just love, love, love reaching for it. So yeah, it's just got that like balmy texture, but it just goes on like a cream and it just feels dreamy. Goes on like a cream, feels like a dream, just absolutely love it. And it's totally unscented, so that's great for me because I am just not a Blue Tansy fan at all. And then just to wrap up the skincare, I mean, last but absolutely not least is the Apis Golden Milk. This is an emulsifying cleansing balm. I mean, this just might be my favorite cleansing balm of all time at this point. I mean, I just absolutely love it. This has shea butter, cocoon butter, sunflower seed oil, calendula and chamomile. It's also got gotu kola in it. It's got hemlock reishi, so I think this might be a different type of reishi, but from what I could gather, it's got hemlock reishi. For those of you who really know your mushrooms really well, you can let me know if there are different types of reishi. And then it's also got turmeric CO2, which is gonna help decrease inflammation. And then it's got cardamom CO2, which is added into this formula to help create a feeling of calm. And then also to help you just feel beautiful in your own skin, which I just think is such a lovely sentiment. And it really does smell incredible. You really can smell the cardamom in here, and I'm just such a cardamom fan. So for me, the scent is just gorgeous. And just look at that beautiful color. I just really love it. And the texture, I don't even want to put any on my skin because I just don't even want to waste it because this is just so precious to me. But just trust me when I say that the texture just feels like buttery, marshmallowy texture. It just smooths onto the skin effortlessly and it just doesn't tug on the skin at all. It's just an absolute pleasure to massage it onto the skin. And I think Aviva is the name of the founder, and she recommends to apply it onto your skin. Well, first your hands have to be dry when you scoop it out. You apply it to dry skin, you massage it onto your face, for a few minutes while, your hands are dry, and then you add a little bit of water and then continue to massage it while it emulsifies and it turns into that milky texture. And it's an incredible pleasure to use, and it's also incredibly effective. It removes makeup. I don't necessarily feel like I need to do a second cleanse, but I typically do. I love using the Fortuna micellar essence after I use this at nighttime. For me, that's just a beautiful combination, a cleansing duo together. But yeah, I really love it. I just can't rave enough about it. And it's just been such a pleasure discovering Apis over this past year. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. So anyway, huge rave for this over these last couple of months. And then finally, I'm just gonna talk about some makeup items here just real quickly. I don't know as if I've ever mentioned the Say Sun Glow before. This is their Glowy Super Gel. I have been using this so much over these last couple months, and I think it's because the weather here has been absolutely beautiful for the most part over this last month. And because I just really don't have much of a tan, but yet it's been sunny, I definitely want to have that sort of sun-kissed vibe on my face. So I just use this under my makeup. So I do my skincare and then I apply this, and it just gives a beautiful kind of like bronzy luminosity. And it's super easy to use and I love it. So I actually do have this on my face today. And then I've just really been loving the Elta MD UV Restore Broad Spectrum SPF 40. I have been reaching for this almost every day. I have actually been reaching for this more so than the Babo Botanicals SPF that I've talked about a lot. This has kind of edged that out. And I think it's because this gives a little bit more coverage, which I feel like I've wanted, a little bit more color on my face from this one, more so than the Babo Botanicals, which I feel like I've needed. And yeah, I just really love it. It works really well. And like I said, I've just been reaching for this one more. So huge favorite over the last couple months. And I think I'm almost out, so I'm definitely gonna need to get another one soon. And then the other thing I have been loving over these last couple months is peach blush. I just cannot seem to get enough of peach blush. With my light to medium olive complexion, I've realized that peach is actually pretty flattering on me. So I've had this Say blush in Peachy for quite a while now, and I've just started to reach for it, and it is so pretty. I don't know why this has just been sitting in my stash for so long. But you can see it looks kind of pale and nude, but when you apply it, it definitely has more pigment. And then on the cheeks, I'll just apply a little bit here, but on the cheeks, it just looks stunning. I mean, it's obviously not gonna show up on darker skin tones. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but on my skin, and maybe somebody who's just a little bit darker, like maybe medium, obviously, and if you're lighter than me, it's gonna show up, but it actually shows up more than I thought it would. And it just gives this really lovely kind of peachy tan hue and a really pretty dewy finish. And I had it on the other day and I got complimented on my skin and it just made me so happy. But yeah, I think it just has such a beautiful finish. And what I have on my skin today actually is I have the Say Peachy, and then I have the House Labs, I think it's Pomelo, what is this? Yeah, Pomelo Peach. And I have the old packaging. I think I got this in the Sephora sale last year, and I just didn't really ever wear it that much. But now that I'm on the peach train, I have this on top of Peachy. And I just think this is so pretty. So I have this, like I said, on top of the Say blush. So these two together, I think, make a really lovely combination. I don't know if I would wear them together kind of like on the daily, but definitely for filming. This gets kind of washed out with the natural light that I have coming in. So I just wanted to add this on top to make sure I had enough color. And I do think that actually works really well together. So this ended up being a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. So if you made it through to the end, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And if you did like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you would do so. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.